Okay, today we're going to do section 4.6, which is sequences, and then we're going to start into chapter 11 next week. This is kind of a little bit different because section 4.6 is kind of out of place. All right, let's take a look at this case here. It says find the seventh term for the following sequence. Now, if you take a look, how do the numbers change? That's what we always want to look at for a sequence. So it goes from -7 to -3 to 1 to 5. Well, we are adding 4 each time. Well, to find the seventh term would not be hard. We would just do -7, -3. The third term is 1. 5 is the fourth. And then we would add 9. And then it would be 13. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we'd add one more, which is 17. So the seventh term would not be that hard. But what if you were asked to find the 412th term? You would not want to add that 411 times. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up with a formula to figure out how to come up with any number of terms at any time. That way we don't have to list them out. So that's kind of the objective of section 4.6. All right, now you do have guided notes, and then go ahead from here. We'll be filling in those guided notes. So we want to take a look at what's called an arithmetic sequence. We want to find any term of an arithmetic sequence. So on your guided notes, in that very top part there, fill in the blanks with the underlined words. So a sequence is a list of numbers that often forms a pattern. Each number in a sequence is a term. So if you would fill in sequence in the first blank, fill in term in the second blank. Okay. Now the next slide here. The following are examples of arithmetic sequences. Go ahead and copy down for number 1, 4, 7, 10, 13, 16, 19. Anything is arithmetic if you add or subtract the same number each time to get the next term. So what are we adding? We're adding 3. 4 plus 3 is 7. 7 plus 3 is 10. 10 plus 3 is 13. Okay, copy down the second one here. 1.2, 2, 2.8, 3.6, 4.4, and 5.2. Well, what are we adding in this case? We are adding 0.8, 0.8. And the third one, 27, 21, 15, 9, 3, -3. This is an arithmetic sequence too. We are adding a negative number. That's fine. So we're adding -6 each time. Now on your sheet there below those, fill in those blanks. It says when the terms of a sequence differ by the same non-zero number, which we'll call D, the sequence is an arithmetic sequence. And D is called the common difference. So fill in those two blanks, put arithmetic sequence and common difference. All right, I'm just going to go up here, and since we talk about this common difference D, for this first one, since we increase each one by 3, D would be 3. For the second one, since we increase each one by 0.8, our D is 0.8. And for the third one, we decreased it by -6, so make your D -6. So D can be positive or negative. Okay, so now I told you these three were arithmetic. Now you're going to be asked to tell whether a certain sequence is. Let's see here. Okay, on the guided notes here, it says determine whether the sequence appears to be an arithmetic sequence. If so, find the common difference in the next three terms. Okay, so basically are we adding or subtracting a number to get the next term? Well, this one goes from 9 to 13 to 17 to 21. So basically we're adding 4 each time. So in this case our D is 4. Now it says find the next three terms. So we want to list those. So we just want to add 4 to 21 to get 25. Add 4 to 25 to get 29. Add 4 to 29 to get 33. So those will be the next three terms. All right, take a look at that second one. It says 10, 8, 5, and 1. It's going down, which is fine, but is it going down by the same amount? Well, to go down from 10 to 8 is you go down 2, from 8 to 5, you go down 3, and from 5 to 1, you go down 4. Okay, there's a pattern, but it's not the same. So this is not arithmetic. All right, for this third one, it says -3/4, -1/4, 3/4, 1/4. Well, if it's not obvious, like for the first two, I think it's pretty clear you can kind of do those mentally. If it's not obvious, what you can do is you can take each term and subtract the one in front of it to see what the change is. So you can use your calculator, and then you start with the second term and subtract the previous term. So I'm going to take -1/4, and I'm going to put that as a fraction, minus, and now I got to subtract -3/4. So that's 0.5. So that one actually increased by 0.5. And now you take the third term and subtract the second term. So I can take 1/4 minus -1/4, and that's 0.5. And then you can take 3/4 minus 1/4. Well, if you remember your fractions, 3/4 minus 1/4 is 2/4, which is a half, which should be the same, or which is the same as 0.5. So 3/4 divided by, or subtracted 1/4 is 0.5. So this is arithmetic because it goes up by the same amount. Their D value is 1/2 or 0.5. Now, since these are in fraction form, I'm going to keep the rest of my three answers in fraction form. So to add 3/4 plus a half, well, a half is the same as 2/4. You just add the top numbers, and we'll get 5/4. And then the next number will be 5/4 plus 2/4, which is 7/4. And the next one is going to be 9/4. Those will be the next three terms. So it is arithmetic. D is 1/2 or 0.5. Okay, so the fourth one there. Again, we got fractions. So you may want to use your calculator. Take the second minus the first. Take 1/3 minus 2/3. Okay, so 1/3 minus 2/3. And that's going to give me -0.3 repeating. Well, that's -1/3. I'm just going to leave it as -1/3. Then, all right, to test this, you test the next one. So you take -1/3 minus 1/3. -1/3 minus the second term, which is 1/3. All right, that gives me -0.6 repeating. Well, that is -2/3. Well, once I get a different number, it is not arithmetic. Oh, that should be, let me fix that. Not arithmetic. Okay, so what you can figure this out either mentally or use your calculator. All right, the fifth one, which you'll need to copy down. So it's going to be -4, -2, 1, and 5. Okay, if you would copy that. Now you can do the subtraction, or you can just figure out how much is going up or down each time. So -4 is going to -2. That is an increase of 2. -2 is going to -1. Well, that's an increase of 3. 1 is going to 5. That is an increase of 4. It is not the same, so therefore it is not arithmetic. Okay, so there is no D value. All right, for this next one, go ahead and copy it down. Take a second, See if you can find D. If you can, then you will have, write that down and then write the next three terms. All right, so go ahead and see what you get for that. All right, hopefully you found this one out to be arithmetic. As you notice, 4 goes to 1, that is a decrease of 3. 1 goes to -2, that's a decrease of 3, and -1, 2 goes to -5, which is a decrease of 3. Calculator will also work. You can start at the last term or the second term, but if I start at -5, I can subtract -2, and then you'll get -3, and then -2 minus 1 is -3, and 1 minus 4 is -3. So that means D is -3. Now to find the next three terms, I just keep subtracting 3. -5 minus 3 is -8. -8 minus 3 is -11. -11 minus 3 is -14. Make sure you list those. All right, now this next slide isn't directly on or isn't on your guided notes. So just pay attention for a second, and then we'll get to that next piece. This is kind of how we develop a formula to figure out any term in any position, and just a little bit of notation. The variable a is often used to represent the terms in a sequence. When you see this notation, we read that as a sub 9, and a with a little 9 next to it. It means the 9th term. Okay, so if we want to talk about any term, we use a sub n, where n can be any number. So the first term in this sequence, 3, 5, 7, and 9, would be a sub 1, a sub 2, then a sub 3, then a sub 4. Okay, the first term is a 3. Okay, the common difference would be a 2. So that's the first term is always going to be important for a lot of what we're going to be doing. So a sub 1 is 3, common difference is 2. Okay, so understand that notation. If I want the 15th term, I'll talk about a sub 15. Okay, just pay attention here. We're almost to where the guided notes pick back up. So for this sequence, 3, 5, 7, 9, how we get to the next term is basically we're going to add 2, but when we add it repeatedly, that's going to involve multiplication. So the first term, second term, and third and fourth. So first term is 3. Second term will end up being 3 plus 2 times 1. And then the third term is going to be 3 plus 2 times 2. And then the fourth term is going to be 3 plus 3 times 2 equals 9. The common difference never changes. Okay, so to get to the fourth term, we're going to end up having the first term plus 3 times whatever the common difference is. That leads us to this formula that is on the bottom of your page. So circle that, highlight it, rewrite it. A sub n equals, so any term equals the first term plus n minus 1 times d. Okay, that will be our formula that we are going to use. All right, go ahead and flip your paper over. And we are going to start on with the second video for the rest of this, the guided notes. So I'm going to pause it here. Then you want to go to the second video.